climate extremes, and our most crucial resource, water, is under threat. Changes in precipitation patterns, prolonged droughts, and intense storms are impacting both the availability and quality of our water supply.
Water resources essentially is water for potable use, agricultural use, industrial use, and so on. And it can either be on the surface or it could be ground.
Although forecasts for heavy rainfall in 2024 might seem promising, these intense downpours often cause runoff instead of replenishing groundwater sources, which many islands depend on for drinking water.
On the groundwater side, if it is that we get a dry and usual wet season, we need to be concerned moving into next year. Because if that's followed by a dry season, then we have a problem in 2025 for sure.
To address these changes, it is essential for communities to not only prepare for storms, but also to manage water resources wisely.
As a community, start investing in the development of the rainwater harvesting system. That's one approach. What you can do as an individual is to see how in your own household you can reduce your water footprint in terms of how you use water.
As we move through 2024, focusing on water sustainability and resilience is crucial. Together, through improved management and conservation efforts, we can advance the sustainable use of water resources and build a water-resilient Caribbean.
For tomorrow's show, we take on our food for thought. There's our book club of the month, and some very special Zontas will be here. And that's our show for the day. Join us tomorrow right here on the ZNS Network at 6 p.m. Have a great evening, everyone. At the House of Assembly, I'm Lakush Lapinder. This is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at stories making news tonight. Grand Bahama tops the national high school diploma rate. Also, is capital punishment a deterrent to crime? Local attorneys are weighing in. And today is International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. The latest statistics on domestic abuse straight ahead.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping the news tonight, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, has announced positive developments for the educational sector in Grand Bahama. Despite major setbacks, the island's students have surpassed the national average for high school graduation and diploma rates. Jolanda Thompson-Everest has tonight's top story.
Grand Bahama and Abaco students have had major setbacks due to Hurricane Dorian and the COVID-19 pandemic. But according to the Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, Grand Bahama is now leading with a 78% graduation and diploma rate. This as the high school and diploma rate has significantly increased to 57%.
It's very likely the highest in the country. So it gives an indication of the sort of strong academic resonance that's happening on this island.
Hannah Martin believes the island students have made significant strides in debates, speech competitions, and inter-house performances. She also praised the educators for upholding the high standards set by the Ministry of Education, ensuring that students consistently achieve exceptional results without compromise.
The educators who are delivering here are delivering at high standards.
Although the 78% graduation rate was achieved last year, the minister emphasizes that the goal remains to produce outstanding students in both the private and public sectors.
This is what our expectations are for public schools, that we will produce strong, confident young people. And this is what we're seeing here today. And this is what we're seeing across the board.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
In other news, a national conversation sparked yet again following the brutal murder of a child in New Providence last week. But the enforcement of capital punishment remains a contentious issue, with some advocating its reinstatement as a deterrent to rising and serious crime. However, in this report, attorneys contend that hanging is not the solution.
The international community thinks those countries that still have things like hanging and stuff are backwards.
A renewed call for capital punishment from residents throughout the Bahamas who have echoed enough is enough after a 12-year-old girl was killed in the nation's capital last week. But the enforcement of capital punishment remains a divisive issue. While some argue that its application could deter high crime rates, attorney-at-law Constance McDonald believes that hanging is not the answer.
A person who is ill, they don't think about, I can get hanged. Persons who are about to commit a crime, you think they thinking they can get caught? So why you feel as if the harsher the penalties, it will lessen the crime? No.
McDonald asserts that capital punishment fails to address the root causes of crime in society.
You can hang a person, but that ain't dealing with the evil that is seething just in our society. It doesn't deal with it. You can imprison a person. That doesn't stop the evil. What we need to do is we need to deal with the issues which cause these problems.
Although capital punishment is illegally on the books within the Bahamas, its enforcement requires approval by the Privy Council, the country's final court of appeal, which only permits it in cases deemed to be the worst of the worst. Counsel and attorney Jacqueline Burrows is also opposed to capital punishment, expressing her view that many members of the Privy Council oppose capital punishment, making its enforcement unlikely.
They do not believe in hanging, and so they would find any reason for the case to be considered not among the worst of the worst.
Well, today is International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. It comes as the country grapples with grief and outrage following the tragic deaths of a 12-year-old girl and a 72-year-old woman in the nation's capital. Tonight, a sergeant from the Royal Bahamas Police Force outlines the proactive measures being taken to combat this persistent issue and support victims.
We work with many community, civic, and governmental organizations in regards to eradicating domestic violence within our families, our communities, and the country at large.
The urgent issue of protecting women against violent acts has gripped the Bahamas, fueled by two recent cases that left the nation in shock. On Wednesday, November 23, 2024, the partially clothed body of 12-year-old Adriel Moxie was discovered in a bushy area off a tract road in the nation's capital. Just 2 days later, news of the alleged rape and murder of 72-year-old Vernencia Butler further horrified the nation, amplifying calls for action against gender-based violence. These tragic incidents coincide with the global observance of International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. According to Sergeant Hilvana Cash, a leading figure in the unit, their mission is to ensure swift action and a comprehensive support for victims.
We also assist victims in terms of matters that are reported to our stations when it comes to prosecution through the courts or if they need additional assistance from other agencies.
The government has enacted Protection Against Violence Legislation 2023, designed to safeguard the rights of victims and foster a safer society. Since its launch, the task force has handled over 200 cases of domestic violence, with 60 to 70% resulting in formal charges, a promising step toward justice and accountability.
You are not alone. Our unit is here to assist you step by step. For immediate assistance, I would advise victims to reach out to 911, or they can reach out to any of their local or nearest station. They can also contact the Domestic Violence Task Force Unit at 350-3085 for further assistance or referrals.
And still to come.
When we come back, we highlight women making a difference in policing.
It's all about giving thanks, and at Dolly Madison, we love to say thanks by giving back. Come on down to Dolly Madison on November 29th and 30th for the post-Thanksgiving sale with up to 25% off store-wide. That's right, up to 25% off store-wide. Open Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if you missed the last sale, you won't want to miss this one. See you there. Dolly Madison.
It's Football Sundays at Prop Club Beach in the Grand Lacayan. Catch all the action from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. with happy hour deals all day. Great food, cold drinks, and your favorite teams. Call 373-1333 for more info.
Sweet Swirls invite you to their grand opening on Friday, November 22nd at 12 p.m. in the Masako International Plaza on Settlers Way. Experience healthy fruit smoothies, sea moss, jello, and soft serve ice cream with your 4 daily flavors. Your dessert is our medicine. Don't miss it.
Foresight IT Professionals is your resource for IT products and services, offering products ranging from computers, point of sale, and CCTV systems. Services ranging from network setup, remote technical support, computer repair, and more. Visit number 11 Four-Way Cooperative Plaza. Call 602-0946 or WhatsApp 813-3355. Foresight IT Professionals, your IT products and services resource.
Fellowship Union Baptist Church, Lancelot Road, Freeport invites you to a fundraiser featuring Mr. Donald Glass, Evangelist James Bassett, the world-famous Bahamas Brass Band, and a host of others. Ministering the word will be Bishop Dr. Barry B. Morris. It all happens Friday, November 29th at 7 p.m. It's a free event.
It's gonna be... Ever heard of Variety? At Haiti Plus, we have hair, skin, home appliances, body care, garden tools, and cleaning supplies. We are located in the LMR Mall. WhatsApp us at 808-5316. Now, that's what I call variety.
Join the World AIDS Day church service under the theme, Take the Right's Path, at Mount Zion Baptist Church in 8 Mile Rock, Grand Bahama. Hosted by Reverend Agatha Martin, Senior Pastor. Unite in faith and action this World AIDS Day.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm self-insuring my investments starting with this car.
We all remember the blue tarps after the storm. Let's make sure that we are covered with more than a tarp. Don't allow your investment to be at risk. Protect your investment with one of our insurance policies.
Nobody does it better.
Come and join Apostles Tony and Ann Grant and the members and followers of Agape House, our Call to Holiness Ministries, as we celebrate our 22nd pastoral and church anniversary, November 2nd through December 1st, under the theme, Regal Glory, Come Jesus Come, beginning Wednesday, November 27th at 7 p.m. with a night of praise, with psalmist ministers Shamia Williams and Bernito Hepburn. 2 nights of service, November 28th and 29th at 7 p.m. with Bishop Sharon Hall of Truth Healing and Deliverance International Worship Center. Our prayer brunch on Saturday, November 30th, beginning at 9 a.m., hosted by Brother George Grant III and Minister Eleanor Williams of Church of Christ Apostolic. And our closeout celebration on Sunday, December 1st at 9 a.m. with Minister Kurt Hollingsworth. And it all goes down at the Agape House Glory Dome, number 23 and 24 Pioneers Loop. Don't miss this Regal Glory celebration.
Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from. Whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization. So if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. Over 600 women are a part of the force that protects and serve our communities every day. This month, female officers throughout the Bahamas celebrated 60 years of women in policing. This week, we begin a special series highlighting those women who are making a marked difference in our country. We begin with Britta Moss, a duty officer in the Control. Jolanda Thompson-Everest has her story.
The world of Corporal Britta Moss, a dedicated officer who has served in the Police Control Room Department for the past 3 years. This vital unit trains and equips officers, ensuring that the public receives the safety and support they rely on.
911, what is your emergency?
This is the voice of 3735 Corporal Britta Moss. With 10 years of service, Moss has remained committed to safeguarding the nation's citizens. During her time at the Lucaya Police Station, she handled various cases, including domestic disputes, burglaries, thefts, and more. Now, she's a part of the Police Control Room Unit.
Whenever there's a serious matter, maybe even a minor matter, persons will call this 911 or 919, and they would inform us of what exactly is taking place. So actually, simultaneously, we would enter the information into our database system because we keep a record of all calls. Once that is done, we wait for the vehicle to arrive on the scene. Once they arrive, they would inform us here at Control Room via radio, and we will know. Well, they will report to us if they need backup. And there are instances where we actually save lives.
Moss reflects on one of her most memorable moments as a dispatcher, recalling an incident involving a couple stranded at sea. While help was quickly dispatched, tragically one life was lost.
I chose policing because I saw it as a very rewarding career.
While 911 has received heavy criticisms in the past, the corporal emphasizes that as police officers, every day they try their best to serve and protect. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest.
One is clad in a red shirt.
While the western end of Grand Bahama came alive this weekend with the first annual Bootleggers and Seafood Festival, showcasing the finest of local culinary offerings as well as refined brewery for attendees with many traveling from overseas for the event. Matthew Martin Burrow shares more in this report.
As a proud Bahamian, I'm definitely excited. We have talented Bahamians across the island here today, various vendors, various artisans, and so it's an exciting occasion to see our people display their talents, not only for the country to see, but for the world to see at large.
A celebration of local culture, food, and entertainment, the Bootleggers and Seafood Festival bringing together locals and foreigners alike for a unique experience by the sea.
The West End is the best end. So I came back down there again, and we're doing it again.
Tried a pickled sausage for the first time. It was amazing. Never had it before in my life. That was good. Beautiful place. Beautiful people. Enjoying it very much.
We love your island, you know.
Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Kingsley Smith, says the event aims to celebrate not only the island's storied past, but also its dynamic present.
West End have a rich history, being one of the transshipment point in the Bahamas for bootlegging, along with the island of Bimini.
As the sun sets over the western end of the island, the festival wraps up another successful year, leaving attendees with unforgettable memories and a renewed appreciation for the island's vibrant culture and traditions. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Matthew Martin Burrow.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, tell us what's happening in sports.
The Tabernacle Thanksgiving Tournament just 2 days away. A lot of teams from the U.S. and New Providence expected to participate.
Always an exciting tournament. That's coming your way next. But first, a check on the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
The Forever Flower Shop. Check out our new selection of artificial flowers and wreaths. Choose stems for your own projects or get a pre-made arrangement as a quick fix to a dull space. If you're a soon-to-be bride, inquire about bulk ordering for floral options that won't break the bank. It's all here at Island Bedding and Furniture, located at number 5 Queens Highway, across from Caribbean Veterinary.
When you order a large Pizza Hut specialty pizza, you unlock a delicious deal. For a limited time, you can add a small one-topping pizza for just $2 more. Hawaiian, Supreme, barbecue chicken, meat lovers, and more flavors. And for just $2, you can double the deliciousness. But hurry, this mouth-watering twice-as-nice deal won't last forever. Call Pizza Hut Freeport at 352-9191 today.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
It's happy hour at Prop Club Beach in the Grand Lacaille. Join them every Friday and Saturday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for great food and drinks. Open Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and until midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. Don't miss out. Third Dimension is back and better than ever. For all of your home improvement needs, from tools and plumbing to housewares and a brand new paint center. Stop by Third Dimension, call 352-6126 and get started on your next project today.
Agape House, in conjunction with Hands Across Grand Bahama, presents a Thanksgiving food drive giveaway on the grounds of Agape House this Thursday, November 28th from 3 p.m. until. This event is free. Don't you miss it.
Grand Bahama Tiles is having its biggest Black Thursday and Friday sale ever. On Thursday, November 28th and Friday, November 29th, you can save 25% off store-wide. Save big on natural stone, mosaics, porcelain, slate, ceramic, wood look, and elegant wall and floor tiles. Upgrade your living room, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, or the whole house with big savings this season. It's 2 days of the biggest savings you cannot miss. Hurry in and save big. Call 352-7920.
When rats are constantly terrorizing the masses, there's only one person who can stop them. After all, not even the strongest rat soldier can defeat the power of Budget Pest Controller. With Budget, the toughest pest won't stand a chance. Call today at 351-7378.
This Christmas, stay connected through all the family traditions. Holidaying is unwrapping gadgets, gigs, and gift cards. Sign up for a $64.99 or higher postpaid plan and get a free smartphone. 3 gigs of bonus data for 3 months and a chance to win a $100 gift card. We've got you covered with the ultimate postpaid deals. For more postpaid offers, visit us online at bdcbahamas.com.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports. First in sports, Grand Bahamian and East End native Omiko Glinton won the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources Inglewood Sports Fisher of the Year.
It's the first of the first, so history was made, and I'm truly, truly honored and happy to be able to bring this trophy back to Grand Bahama. And we won more than the the trophy. Just they didn't let me bring the other big thing I was holding the other night, but I also won $10,000. So along with this, and I'm definitely gonna do what I've been doing and putting it back into the community and what I see the future holds for the MECO experience. Everything I do, I don't really do for the recognition and this stuff, but when you work hard and you give everything you have and you commit to what you feel like you've been called to do, I believe that these are the things that gets in the way and fall in place for you.
Next in sports, the Tabernacle Falcons William Dale Burns Basketball Classic begins this Wednesday through Saturday at St. George's Gym. 8 teams from New Providence, Grand Bahama, and the U.S. will be competing this year.
We have brought thousands of visitors to this island destination known as Freeport, Grand Bahama, Bahamas. This year will be no different as we host over 150 visitors from the state of Georgia. We believe that this is our duty to be a part of the vision to make Grand Bahama grand again and truly be a part of making this island the event capital of the Bahamas.
We expect a very competitive tournament this year, matching up with teams out of the U.S. and Aaron Bailey Pacers out of New Providence.
We are looking forward to this tournament, and we wish the teams all the best of luck.
And that's your check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Portobello's at the Grand Lacayan invites everyone to a Thanksgiving celebration. Enjoy Sunday brunch on November 24th or Thankful Thursday on November 28th with a buffet and live entertainment. For more details and reservations, call 373-1333.
Third Dimension is having a Black Friday sale, 25% off store-wide and 15% off all tiles. This Friday and Saturday, November 29th and 30th. Store hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. That's Third Dimension, bringing Black Friday home to you.
Freeport, don't buy that ticket just yet. The biggest Black Friday event is about to come your way. November 28th, 29th, and 30th. Mark your calendars. Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center is bringing our 3 days of blackout right to your doorstep. Thousands of items from Amazon, Home Depot, and Walmart, all at their U.S. online listed prices, freight and duty paid. It's a shopping spree like you've never seen before. Don't believe us? Bring your phone and Google it. Join us at the large warehouse on West Settlers Way next to Thompson Trading. Don't miss out. Be there or be square.
You're going to get more to be thankful for from BTC this November.
They're teaming up with What's Trending to give away a $200 Visa gift card and a Bahamas Air voucher. Just email the latest paid receipt from either your BTC postpaid or fiber internet account to saleshq@znsbahamas.com and you will be entered to be one of the lucky 2 winners whose names will be announced on What's Trending on November 28th, Thanksgiving Day.
More to be thankful for from BTC, only on What's Trending.
Craving big Bahamian flavor? Get to Tropical Gyros, where you'll find juicy, boneless chicken that packs more meat, pound for pound. Filled with our Chef Culmer's loaded lineup, tender chicken, shrimp, salmon, lobster, grouper, and conch gyros, all topped with our signature tropical sauces. Gyros, bowls, salads, tri-jerk chicken, lemon chicken, lamb, or grilled veggies, dine in or take away. Visit us on West Settlers Way or call 602-7062. Tropical Gyros, Bahamian owned and packed with flavor. More meat in every bite.
Champagne and the Rhythm presents 102.7 The Rhythm turns 3, and it's a big performance with Taurus Riley live. Taurus Riley live. Oh yeah, the hitmaker, the reggae icon, Taurus Riley live. Saturday, December 14th at the brand new Cayenne Ballroom. Doors open at 8 p.m., showtime at 11 p.m. For 102.7 The Rhythm. Big birthday party with Taurus Riley. Live. Get tickets online now. TheRhythm3.com. And it's a big performance. Taurus Riley. Brought to you by Jane Champagne and The Rhythm. Saturday, December 14th, 102.7 The Rhythm. Turns 3 with Taurus Riley. Live.
Come and join Apostles Tony and Ann Grant and the members and followers of Agape House, our Call to Holiness Ministries, as we celebrate our 22nd pastoral and church anniversary, November 2nd through December 1st, under the theme Regal Glory, Come Jesus Come, beginning Wednesday, November 27th at 7 p.m. with a night of praise, with psalmists, ministers Shamia Williams and Bernito Hepburn. 2 nights of service, November 28th and 29th at 7 p.m. with Bishop Sharon Hall of Truth Healing and Deliverance International Worship Center. Our prayer brunch on Saturday, November 30th, beginning at 9 a.m., hosted by Brother George Grant III and Minister Eleanor Williams of Church of Christ Apostolic. And our closeout celebration on Sunday, December 1st at 9 a.m. with Minister Kurt Hollingsworth. And it all goes down at the Agape House Glory Dome, number 23 and 24 Pioneers Loop. Don't miss this Regal Glory celebration.
Number 1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight is coming your way next.
The news is brought to you by BTC. For the fastest speed internet, get BTC Fiber. Sign up for a fiber bundle and get a $500 Visa gift card. Visit a retail store to sign up today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, what led to young Adriel Moxie's shocking death? Police let the media in on their findings into the matter and that of an alleged attack and subsequent death of a senior citizen. Also, Marco's alert called off for 2 missing boys after police confirm their safe return. But the story doesn't end there. And females unite to paint the town orange in a renewed push to end violence against women and girls. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. 2 mentally ill individuals held as suspects in the deaths of Venetia Butler, a 72-year-old grandmother and breast cancer survivor, and 12-year-old Adriel Moxie. In both cases, sexual assault is said to have taken place. The Commissioner of Police revealing new details of these disturbing cases to the press. Felicity Darville has more.
Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernanda revealing that the autopsy report on Adriel Moxie confirmed that she was strangled to death and sexually assaulted. Criminal investigators have collected DNA from the victim and perpetrator with hopes of bringing this case to a quick closure.
Our investigators and CSI personnel, they have collected a number of evidence, physical evidence, and they are preparing it now. Even what was taken from the suspect, alleged suspect, and they are being packaged at this time. I've given instructions that both the matters that happened on Friday and the young child, all of that physical evidence, once the CSI personnel have gathered all of the evidence, they will be on the next flight out to a DNA lab, which is crucial in both investigations to bring some quick closure to these matters, both matters.
DNA is also being collected from Vernencia Butler and her suspected killer, a 25-year-old man of Boat Alley. Police took him to the scene and he showed them how he broke into the Ross Corner home. Her son and grandson opened the front door to find Butler on the floor, naked and unresponsive. The assailant, naked, sitting on the edge of the bed. When police arrived, they were beating the suspect. Here's more on what police discovered.
We know now that this alleged suspect entered through a front room window, a Norton front room window, to gain access to that residence. Officers did some probing in that area and was able to retrieve a video footage from a local restaurant and bar in that general area, showing the suspect just prior to the deceased arriving home. He was seen bareback, just a pants on, no shoes, in front of that establishment with other persons. It appears though he was using some drugs.
The suspects in both cases are said to be mentally ill individuals who overpowered their victims, cases of gender-based violence. On this, the International Day to End Violence Against Women and Girls, we get a renewed commitment from the Commissioner of Police to stop those who may be roaming the streets, taking advantage of the most vulnerable amongst us, like Ms. Butler, a grandmother, or little Adrielle, as the 16 days to end gender-based violence begins. From the police headquarters for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Davo.
Well, thanks, Felicity. Meantime, the Ministry of Social Services under heavy scrutiny as the nation mourns the tragic death of Adrielle Moxie, the 7th grader, attacked on her way home from school, sparking outrage and calls for immediate action to protect vulnerable children. Diane Dorset has the story.
The death of 12-year-old Adrielle Moxie has raised questions from family and the public about the safety of children in the Bahamas. On Monday, the Ministry of Social Services held a press conference responding to claims that the ministry did nothing. And while the Minister, the Honorable Miles Serota, confirmed that in an instance 2 years ago, Adrielle's family was investigated, he admits that the ministry could have done more.
I can say that in one of those cases that the Department of Social Services take steps to intervene, but we were not successful. I would also say there was another matter that occurred, I think, in July of 2022. It's fair to say that the department did not go as far as we could have done. So it is fair to say that we could have done more.
For the first half of the year, 249 cases under the Children and Family Services Division of the Department of Social Services are under active investigation. Of this figure, 237 are new, while 12 are old cases that have been reopened. Gabrielle Romer, Assistant Director of Social Services, identified how cases often come to the department's attention.
But oftentimes with guiding counselors, once they bring a matter to our attention, we definitely go and visit the home, because we do have an officer assigned to every school throughout the Bahamas.
Adrielle's murder has reignited concerns about gaps in community safety, such as insufficient lighting on roads and the lack of patrols in vulnerable areas.
In the ensuing weeks, we will meet with our stakeholders, the police, church leaders, and NGOs to review our existing protocols with a view to making the necessary adjustments that may be required. Internally, the Department of Social Services will also review its protocols to ensure that loopholes or missteps are eliminated and stringent measures are put in place to the proper follow-up of cases.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Diane Dorset.
Now, among the religious organizations dismayed by the unfortunate death of 12-year-old Adriel Moxie is Gang Reduction Intervention Projection, better known as GRIP. The group, comprising local pastors, is mandated to work with young people, families, and correctional services to ensure the youth are not influenced by gang life. President Pastor Henry Higgins has expressed sadness over the young girl's death that has rocked the nation.
We wanted to be emphatically clear that GRIP does not support this, and GRIP is a group that will take action to continue to ensure that these type of things do not happen in our country.
Members are appealing for the country to get involved to avoid a reoccurrence.
When I was a little boy, we used to go to school in a gang and come home in a gang. Okay, we always had a crowd of people with us when we going home from school. And so we as an organization are just reaching out to all of the families, and we realize that it's difficult sometimes growing up children as a single parent, that we as an organization are here to help, okay? If you need assistance, reach out to GRIP. GRIP will assist you. We'll come into the schools and assist with the PDA. Like our president said, we'll also come and counsel and mentor the children if we have to. You'll come to your home and pick them up and mentor them at our institution.
And we need to learn that it all starts within the home. We need to learn to groom our children and teach them how to look out and be aware of their environments and, stuff like that. So definitely, it starts within the home. And then it also branches off with the government. We need stiffer penalties, definitely.
Well, as you heard earlier, the deaths of a preteen girl and a 72-year-old woman come as the Zonta Club of New Providence launches its Orange the World Unite campaign for 16 days of activism. The whole purpose is to push government, civil society, women's organizations, young people, the private sector, media, and the United Nations to address the global pandemic of violence against women and girls. The official color of orange is symbolic of a bright future free of violence. And to get the ball rolling, Zontians will host Lunch and Learn, supporting victims in times of crisis. The event, an opportunity to provide practical strategies and sensitive training for public hospitals authority staff on supporting victims of gender-based violence with empathy, professionalism, and resourcefulness. This session, scheduled for December 10th, which coincidentally is International Human Rights Day, corporate Bahamas and the public for that matter are encouraged to decorate their offices and wear orange each Friday, sending a clear message the country is saying no to violence in all forms. Well, in other news this evening, we also have details tonight of the safe return of two Andros boys reported missing on Friday. Police confirming that Demester Duncombe and Shantianti Thompson both reportedly ran away from home last Tuesday, but have since been found in good health. But there's a twist to this story. The two were not only captured and subsequently arrested Sunday evening in the Johnsons Bay area, and there's good reason why. Police tell us the teens are suspects in a number of housebreakings on that island, lending to this the fact that they were found inside a home with stolen electronics, fishing gear, footwear, and flashlights. Authorities have not yet disclosed when or if the boys will face charges. Coming up, Haiti's worsening crisis. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
KFC is giving you more to love with our KFC Bucket Meal with large size. Get the KFC Family Bucket featuring 8 pieces of juicy chicken, family fries, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4. A KFC Deluxe Bucket with 10 pieces of delicious chicken, 2 larger sides, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4 to 6. Or a KFC Party Bucket with 15 pieces of our chicken, 3 larger sides, plates and 6 biscuits that feed 6. And we'll handle the dishes, plates, and utensils included, so you can lick your fingers in peace. KFC knows value, and it's finger-licking good.
This Christmas, stay connected through all the family traditions. Holidaying is unwrapping gadgets, gigs, and gift cards. Sign up for a $64.99 or higher postpaid plan and get a free smartphone. 3 gigs of bonus data for 3 months and a chance to win a $100 gift card. We've got you covered with the ultimate postpaid deals. For more postpaid offers, visit us online at bdcbahamas.com.
Man, this ain't making no sense, man. No people making it out here, Dre. If you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, you gotta learn how to budget. First, write down all of your income. Then, list out all of your expenses. And don't forget to save. Stop throwing away money. Put something aside for savings. And get this, government savings bonds can safely grow your money. So start budgeting, save your coins, and invest smart. Financial independence, right? Wait, financial independence, right? Learn how to invest in government savings bonds on the Central Bank of the Bahamas website.
Holiday season, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is bringing light back to Bahamian homes. Through our partnership with Bahamas Power and Light, we're offering the Merry and Bright Holiday Reconnection Program, so you can pay as little as 10% of your outstanding balance and get reconnected. Just in time for the holidays. Pay a little, light up a lot. The Ministry of Energy and Transport is committed to making sure no family is left in the dark this season.
Portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
Well, you're looking at a shot today of the Oaksfield area just northwest of the Queen Elizabeth Sports Center. Our beauty shot today. Well, the state of Haiti said to be one that's caught between political paralysis and escalating violence as the country's situation spirals out of control. Concern for the safety of the Defense Force officers deployed there last month grows. Our Daniel Dean gives us an update on their status in this next report.
Gangs in Haiti reportedly getting stronger. According to the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, even the number of children recruited by gangs there have soared to 70%, with children making up 30 to 50% of gang members in that strife-torn island nation.
The increase in crime where we have the gangs, from what I read, going into people's houses, killing parents, grandparents, raping young women, raping grandmothers, raping mothers. That is a part of what must stop, and that is the mission of the MSSM.
The Multinational Security Support Mission, a United Nations-approved international police and military force, was formed with a one-track goal to restore stability in Haiti by dismantling criminal networks and re-establishing secure zones for civilians alongside the Haitian National Police amidst political and security hazards. But the increased violence begs a serious question. What's the status of the country's 6 Defense Force officers deployed this past October?
The 6 Bahamians in the headquarters on the airport are there for command responsibility. They do not go on patrol with the Haitian National Police.
Monroe says, in addition to those 6 officers, the government is set to provide maritime security with the deployment of a 60-meter offshore patrol craft.
It cannot be right that we could sit by and watch where openly you have people going in and raping and killing women and children every single day. And for all Bahamians who claims it happens here, it doesn't happen here like that. And for all Bahamians who don't understand why it's not in our interest to stop this, the outflows from Haiti primarily impact to the greatest extent the Bahamas, rather than any other of the surrounding countries to Haiti.
Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Well, this week marking National Women's Week, and the Department of Gender and Family Affairs is encouraging everyone to celebrate the women in their lives. This year marks the 62nd year since women first voted in the Bahamas, and the Social Services Minister says it's time to pause and honor women for the pivotal roles they play. Felicity Darville takes the story from here.
National Women's Week is being held under the theme, Empowered Women, Refined, Reskilled, Resilient, Resolute. Minister Miles LaRota said women of today stand on the broad shoulders of the brave people who took a stand for women's rights.
The contribution of those women and men who fought for the enfranchisement of the Bahamian woman remain resolute in their goals. Today, we pay tribute to some of the leaders of the suffragette movement, including Mary Ingram, Mabel Walker, Georgina Simonet, Eugenia Lockhart, and Doris Johnson. These brave women were among others who agitated and bravely led the charge of the suffrage movement.
A series of events are planned going past this special week, culminating in an End the Violence march and rally.
The 16 days of activism are included in the observance of National Women's Week, and in this regard, the Department of Gender and Family Affairs has organized the End the Violence March and Rally for Sunday, 7th December, beginning at 4 p.m. The march will start at the South Beach Police Station and end at the Pinewood Gardens Park with a rally.
Sharmi Fernanda of the National Women's Advisory Council said the goal of ending violence starts at home.
It begins with the family, and that is why the ministry, along with the Women's Council, we're pleased to be fostering a program with the Christian Council to ensure that families are again taking the active part in the rearing of their children.
Women are our nurturers, and that is why their role is so important. Women have the power to make a difference. Back on November 26, 1962, when women first voted in the Bahamas, it paved the way for majority rule and the independence of our country. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Davo.
The London Pinley International Airport, stakeholders there are kicking off a busy holiday travel season, starting with America's Thanksgiving this Thursday. Stats show that last year, the airport surpassed all expectations, welcoming more than 45,000 travelers during Thanksgiving weekend alone. Now, this achievement lending to the country's record-breaking year. Officials at Nassau Airport Development Company, or NAD, noting that while this year's travel projections are expected to certainly remain strong, those numbers may trail last year's peak performance, albeit slightly. Now, if you're traveling this week, you're strongly encouraged to arrive at the airport no less than 3 hours ahead of flights to the United States and 2 hours for other international and domestic departures to allow adequate time for check-in, security screening, and processing. Stay with us on The Beat is after the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
In the Bahamas, we're connected by more than just our islands. Now we're connected by Sand Dollar. It moves with you across many digital wallets. It doesn't matter if you use Bank of the Bahamas, Cash and Go, Island Pay, Canoe, Mobile Assist, Money Max, Suncash, or Omni. Sand Dollar, one currency and many wallets. It's inclusive, convenient, secure, and uniquely Bahamian. Embrace the future. Available for everyone on all Bahamian digital wallet apps.
It's good to be alive this holiday season. Alive is partnering with Western Air to bring 4 lucky Bahamian students home for the holidays for free. If you're a student studying in Florida, all you have to do is share a creative video showing us why it's good to be home for the holidays with the hashtags
It's good to be home and it's good to be alive.
And don't forget to check out our live social media pages and bealive.com to see if you're eligible.
It's good to be alive when things free.
And it's even better to be home for the holidays.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code. Select your payment amount and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
As Diabetes Awareness Month comes to a close, a local nonprofit organization makes an extra special effort to reach those in the population affected by the illness. Our Danielle Dean has the story.
A resource for those with chronic kidney disease is the Bahamas Kidney Association. They implemented a medication assistance program in September 2022 to assist patients diagnosed with the disease with the cost of medication.
This condition affects many Bahamian families and is said to be the third fastest growing cause of death globally.
Diabetes Awareness Month ends in just 5 days, and it is the mission of organizations like BKA to get the word out to loved ones of those diagnosed that all is not lost and that there are resources in place.
As a nonprofit organization, we can only continue our vital work with your generosity. I encourage you to get involved and offer your support.
President Tamika Roberts urges those interested in contributing to the worthy cause to visit the foundation's website, bahamaskidneyfoundation.org. Helpful information regarding areas like dieting can be seen on the website. For example, patients are exhorted to drink plenty of fluids, excluding alcohol, if they have kidney or bladder infection. The increased fluid helps flush the kidneys and bladder and helps get the medication prescribed through the kidneys and bladder to promote healing and rapid recovery. However, a special exception to the edict, drink plenty of fluids, is in the case of kidney failure. Other forms of contact include social media pages or telephone number 1242-436-1317. With Health Matters for the Bahamas tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
All right, now we're going to check on in with Marcellus and Jimenita, who are standing by to give us a sneak peek of Access Now. What's up, guys? Hey, Slow, we're going to be talking about how you can keep your child safe. Important information there.
Oh, very important. Absolutely. That's a real important thing lately, especially.
Definitely. Exactly. Some good stuff over there. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight continues in a moment.
People are going crazy for Popeyes around the world. Some have camped out for hours just to try our delicious chicken. This guy stocked up on 300 crunchy, juicy chicken sandwiches, just in case. And these lovebirds celebrated their wedding with the Popeyes cake. For real. We get it, y'all chicken lovers. Because we're just as crazy to marinate our chicken for 12 hours and make every piece by hand. That crazy love, we love.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Get ready, Nassau. Bahamas Liquidation and Auction Center is back with our annual 3 days of blackout. Mark your calendars for November 28th, 29th, and 30th. It's 3 days of unbelievable deals right here at home. We're bringing you thousands of items from Amazon, Home Depot, and Walmart. Everything at their online listed prices, freight and duty paid. Don't believe us? Bring your phone and Google it. Experience the U.S. prices right here in Nassau. Call us at 698-0123 or WhatsApp 557-2522. Meet us on Mackey Street. Don't miss out. See you there for 3 days of total blackout deals.
In the Bahamas, island time is real. The history of Morris Lumber Company, established in 1945, is etched into the fabric of this proud island nation. It's a story that deserves to be celebrated in full color, and that's where we come in. Morris the Pink Place has been bringing color and vitality to homes and businesses across the Bahamas. Here, Color is more than just a hue. It's a symbol of life. Together, we can paint a brighter future.
That does it for the National Report, but the Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
Tourism today, Bahamas tourism today.
With Bahamas Airs up and away, having won the title of the world's leading in-flight magazine, Managing Director Roscoe Dames shared his enthusiasm for the publication's latest accomplishment.
It's pretty exciting. We recently won the Caribbean Leading In-Flight Magazine for the World Travel Awards. And as a result of winning our region, we were nominated along with other regional winners around the world for the world's leading in-flight magazine. And fortunately, we won. I mean, like, I'm bubbling with excitement because we won over major airlines. One in particular, United, that moves about 140 million passengers a year. You have Air Canada, en route, their publication. They move about 44 million passengers. Then you have Oman Air, Korean Air, a lot of the big airlines around the world we were competing against because they would have won their region. And for us to win for the Bahamas and certainly for the Caribbean, this is major. All of our team, they're extremely excited. The big announcement in Portugal that we are the world's leading in-flight magazine publication, I'm beaming with pride. When we first took the publication on just a few years ago, we decided that the magazine was birthed simply like this. When I spoke to our graphics designer, I said to her, imagine a travel magazine and an art and fashion magazine came together and gave birth to Up and Away. And we provide content from around the world. Bahamas Air flies to major gateways that can get you to the rest of the world. So we opened up our thinking, opened up our minds to really share with our readers what they can explore in the world, not just the Bahamas, not just the Caribbean, but everywhere else.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Micklin Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
Department of Corrections holding its award ceremonies this morning. The details on that straight ahead.
And is orange the new black? No, it's not. Orange is the new color to recognize the elimination of violence against women and children.
Plus, call the police. Nah, you don't have to. They join us tonight live, talking about child safety.
And coming up in sports, college basketball tournament action in full swing at Atlantis and Bahama.
Tonight, Access Now starts now.
And good evening, I'm Marcellus Hall.
And I'm Jiminita Swain. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now.
Well, the start of another week. And how was your weekend, Jimmy?
My weekend was fabulous, Marcellus. And what about you?
I had a good weekend as well. I tell you what, it's pretty fantastic. I got all fired up and ready to go. Let's dive right into the news for you here this evening. With heinous crimes on the rise here in the nation, the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services took the time today to uplift its officers and give them a well-needed boost with awards. Daniel Dean sat in on the ceremony.
Time well served by 70 correctional officers who received awards Monday for good conduct and long service. the vast majority of the men and women putting in as much as 18 years on the job. And National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, couldn't be more proud.
I, as much as anyone else, know the conditions in which you work. I had the misfortune in my previous life of having to visit where you work for an hour or two at a time. But I am well aware that you work your entire shift in those conditions.
We asked National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, the importance of honoring correctional officers in this current climate of crime.
We have to spend more time and attention on prevention and rehabilitation. So these officers deal particularly with rehabilitation. 95+% of persons who go to prison will be released. And so it's important for us to seek to correct the behavior that caused them to go down in the first place. And these officers are on the leading edge of that fight, and they're the ones who we entrust with that task.
According to the minister, the Bahamas Department of Corrections has a full complement of some 800 officers. Still, they're actively recruiting. Reporting for the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
From November 25th leading up to December 10th, which is observed as Human Rights Day, the world will focus on 16 days of activism opposing violence against women and girls. The 16 days provide a dedicated period for advocacy and action. The color for this period is orange. The Bahamas is down for this cause, with Zonta International leading the way, encouraging corporate Bahamas to decorate their offices using the color orange and to wear orange each Friday. All of this in solidarity to say no to violence of all forms and to support victims of gender-based violence. ZNS will join other corporate entities in wearing orange on Fridays for this period.
Well, the ever so popular event, Jollification, taking place this past weekend. Bahamians turning out in droves. Our ZNS team went out there to take in some of the action. Marshawn Lou Burrows has the report.
It's all about festivity for a worthy cause. The Bahamas National Trust hosting its annual Jollification Festival at its retreat gardens on Village Road, with lots of Bahamian trinkets and delicacies for attendees to purchase just in time for the holiday. Executive Director of the National Trust, Lakeisha Anderson-Roll, says that this year's event is sure to surpass the success of prior editions.
We actually do have more vendors this year. Last year we saw about 80. We actually do have more vendors this year. Last year we saw about 80, but this year we actually had a long waiting list, and simply because we just didn't have enough space to accommodate. But I would say we're seeing a great deal of persons. Last night we celebrated by opening the event with our membership night, and we saw about 600 of our members come out, and that was a huge deal. She had a long waiting list, and simply because we just didn't have enough space to accommodate. But I would say we're seeing a great deal.
The National Trust, they preserve the environment, and I like to capture the environment on canvas to preserve for future generations. I like to exhibit so people, the public, could get to see some of my work and to expand and get feedback from the public on how I'll move forward in the future.
Celebrated by opening the event with our membership night, and we saw about 600 of our members come out, and that was a huge deal.
Oh my goodness, today's a good day. I love being here. I come every year. It's fun to walk around with my friends, my family, and just, I guess, take everything in and get excited for Christmas.
The jewelries and handbags. I love the handbags. That's why I came for, really, to look at them. And now I'm going to check the food section. It's great. I enjoy it.
I'm Marisha Barros.
All right, thanks, Marisha. Well, still to come, somebody called the police. No need. They are already here. We're going to be talking child safety. Stay close for it. Be right back.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Bulk up your business and communication with parents, students, and staff in seconds with a live business bulk SMS messaging. This is the perfect tool to keep you connected and easily send important updates, event reminders, and emergency alerts. Keep your campus informed and connected with bulk SMS messaging from a live business. The right choice for fast, reliable communication. For more information, contact the experts.
Every day, countless Bahamians fall asleep hungry. But by working together, we can change this. This holiday season, you can spread hope and love by supporting AML's Feed 5,000 program from November 4th to December 18th. AML has committed $30,000 to provide nutritious meals for the holidays, and along with your gift of any amount, can feed families in need.
With your donations, my family and I were able to stretch through tough times for a few weeks until we were able to get back on our feet.
The gift cards that we got gives us access to nutritious food when we needed it.
So as you can see, your donation will make a huge impact to those in need. Organizations, civil groups, or private citizens wanting to support the Feed 5,000 program, here's how you can help. You can purchase a $50 package, donate towards a package, donate in-store at the registers, or contact the corporate office of AML Foods Limited at 677-7200. Donate today at any Solomon's, Fresh Market, Course Right, Exuma Markets, and Domino's Pizza. You can donate cash or loyalty points. No amount is too small.
A look live of the six-legged roundabout near JFK Drive. Good shot there by our drone pilot, Destiny Reed. Now let's take a trip down to Long Island, the home of the best steamed mutton in the Bahamas.
Family Island News is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited.
Well, Long Island was the latest stop on the Minister of Transport and Energy, the Honorable JoBeth Colby Davis, listening tour with Bahamas Power and Light staff members. Minister Colby Davis engaged staff members in a closed-door forum and toured the distribution, transmission, and distribution power plant in Millers. She also visited with Road Traffic Department staff to discuss in-house matters. Ministry officials state these visits are critical to reducing the cost and improving the reliability of electricity. Good stuff there. Jiminita?
Well, thanks, Marcellus. You would have already told us that the police are here. Well, they're here in the person of Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings, who's here to talk about the recent horrific news that we would have experienced. We talk about Adriel Moxie and the recent hike in missing children. And of course, child safety is something key to talk about. So Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings, welcome to Access Now. Good evening to you.
Good evening, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, Skippings, talk to us about whether or not there's a special unit within the police force that deals with child safety.
Well, let me say this. There is no specific area within the police force that specifically targets child safety. However, as law enforcement officers, it is our mandate to protect life and property. And so when you talk about child safety, it's about protecting the darlings of our nation. As an organization, our mandate is to maintain law and order, apprehend offenders, protect life and property, preserve the peace, and enforce all laws with which we are charged. And so that may be certain aspects of social services that comes under the child safety as well. It may be certain parts of enforcing the Education Act. So we encompass all of those together to ensure that our children remain safe.
So obviously you have to be well prepared.
Well,
now the commissioner said parents can immediately report their children missing. Do you think that there will be an uptick in reported children being reported missing as a result?
I'm not sure if there will be an uptick. However, I'm certain that parents may be a little bit more responsible in wanting to know where their children are, who their children are with, and what their children are doing. So I'm not sure if we will see a hike in it, but at this point I just want to admonish parents, you have an obligation. God has given you these children to train and to mold. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to quote scripture, the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And so if parents, utilizing the scripture that God is giving us, if they train their children properly, we won't have the issues of children having to run away.
But there are instances, so how can the police make parents accountable if they err when it comes to their children's safety?
Well, I can tell you this. Under the Child Protection Act, if parents fail to ensure that their children are safe, there's an area there where we can charge them for abuse, for neglect, or even for negligence. Let me also say at the same time, under the new gang legislation, it holds parents accountable for items that may be brought into their homes by their children. And so if your child brings something to your home and it's stolen, the law says that as a parent, we can put you before the court. So it places that responsibility now on the parent to ensure that whatever their children bring home, it is lawful, they have gained it by the right means and not by some means of criminal mischief or activity.
Now at 3 o'clock, most students are dismissed for the day. What can parents do to make sure their children are safe during these after hours?
Well, one thing I would like to see parents to pick up your children on time when school is out. Encourage your children to walk in groups if they must walk. Now, I'm not an advocate for children walking by themselves. I would like to see parents taking their children to school, walking their children from school. Again, the rule that we were taught, Jamanita, don't talk to strangers. We must enforce that with our children. If someone pulls up in a vehicle and they want to talk to the child or want to ask a question, do not entertain them. Run, call an adult, let an adult know exactly what's going on. And so those are just a few tips that parents can definitely use.
And I don't know if you want to touch on it too, in these after hours, there are also after-school activities.
Yes.
What about the onus for those persons operating?
And I want to say too, persons who have after-school extracurricular activities, that children participated, there's a certain level of responsibility that falls on you as the program coordinator. If a child is in your program and it's dark, it's your responsibility as well as the parents to ensure that those children reach home safely. Do not send them. Take them. You go with them as a responsible adult, or find someone who's responsible to carry them home, but do not allow them to leave by themselves. We don't want anything else happening to any of our darlings of the nation. And so it calls for every citizen in this country. The question was asked, where's the village? Every citizen has a role to play in this equation. Parents, godparents, teachers, churches, civic organizations, everyone must now step up and be the village for our children. You and I are here today because the village was in place for us. The village made time for us so that we can become productive citizens in this country. It's now time for those of us who sit in these levels to be able now to reciprocate that to our young people, to ensure that they receive the foundation to become better citizens, and then you and I can retire and enjoy life knowing well that the children have been properly trained and they're capable to take their rightful places in our society.
Indeed, indeed. Well, Chief Superintendent Skippings, thanks so much for joining us here, and I hope that parents will take heed to what you discussed. Those very important tips. All the best in keeping our streets safe, and continue to be safe yourself. But let's see what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for tonight, it is college basketball time once again. Lots of tournaments going on here in the country. We'll tell you what's going on with them just ahead in sports.
This Christmas, stay connected through all the family traditions. Holidaying is unwrapping gadgets, gigs, and gift cards. Sign up for a $64.99 or higher postpaid plan and get a free smartphone. 3 gigs of bonus data for 3 months and a chance to win a $100 gift card. We've got you covered with the ultimate postpaid deals. For more postpaid offers, visit us online at bdcbahamas.com.
Janae's Christmas Wonderland with the best selection and prices in town is open under the Big Tent. Get 20 to 50% off selected Christmas decorations. Restrictions apply. Trees in pink, frosted green or white in a variety of sizes up to 15 feet. LED and laser lights, tree ornaments, lighted angels and Santa tree toppers. Bright, unique and lively colored Christmas balls, garlands, wreaths, ribbons, bows, snowflakes, puffs and blankets and much more. Add flowers, picks and decorative mesh to brighten up your home or office this holiday season. And don't forget the toys at Janae's Chesapeake Road. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. WhatsApp 817-3295.
It's a different kind of Christmas, but everything is here to bring a smile upon your face. That's what the season brings. See, Christmas time is the time for your family and friends. Come and shop with us and find everything that you need. Check out your homes with all we have in store, bringing joy and so much more. And shop, Smarty, and shop, Smart, and shop, Smart. Oh, everything is here at Shop Smart. And shop, Smart, and shop, Smart. Oh, everything is here.
The Whopper with cheese never tasted so good. 100% flame grilled beef, now juicier. With fresh ingredients as usual. And even fluffier buns. The Whopper with cheese. Bigger, better, tastier. Get a regular combo for only $9. Only at Burger King Nassau.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check Monday, everybody. I am Marcellus Hall. It is Thanksgiving season, and that means lots of college basketball. Bahamas no different. We're hosting a lot of tournaments right now here in the country, starting with Bahamas Hoops. They started their tournament last week at Bahamas and continue with action today at the convention center. Ladies seeing action in the Pink Flamingo Championships. That got started with NC State up against Southern and LSU going up against Washington. Meanwhile, the Battle for Atlantis tournament is also underway. That's going on at the Imperial Ballroom on Paradise Island. The high school basketball season also underway. Looking at some highlights here as SAC taking on Temple Christian boys. That's over at SAC. Game, as you can see, going into the twilight hours. SAC did have a slight lead late into the fourth quarter. We'll tell you if they held on to victory tomorrow. Meanwhile, plans still ongoing for the Bahamas as they ready now for the Under-15 Caribbean Baseball Cup at the Andre Rogers Baseball Diamond, December 4th through 9th. LOC Chairman is Harrison Thompson. He's excited for what's to come.
We didn't do as well as we want to do it in the open man, but I can assure them that in Under-15, we're going to take that cup and we keep it in the Bahamas. This is another thing in the sports in paradise that the Bahamas has been noted for. And we look forward to all of our friends from around the Caribbean to be here with us during this festive season as we will be in between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So that's a time that you can come and celebrate in the Bahamas as we showcase our young stars. Our young stars, as Theo mentioned, that baseball is taking off in the Bahamas. We're now playing it in high schools, so we expect greater things in the future in terms of baseball in this country.
And that's it. To check on sports for you here on this Monday. Our Monday weather is just around the corner. Stay with us.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
J.S. Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you can be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one in your car, say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. 14s get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
And we're all the way in Nassau. You got it? Okay. Yes, you're right. Eleuthera for tomorrow? No problem.
It's time for your Access weather forecast. Pretty dry conditions in the northwestern parts of the country, but if you're looking for rain, well, in the southeast, lots of it down there. We're getting some shower activities, particularly around South Long Island, Crooked Island, Ackland, and some heavy thunderstorms in the vicinity of Matthewtown, Inagua. Our boating forecast tonight, well, that is brought to you by a live business where you're always protected during the worst storms. In the northwest and central islands tonight, right through Tuesday, those winds are going to be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide will occur at 9:53 tonight. Second low tide at 10:30 tomorrow morning for the southeast. Bahamas through Tuesday. Those winds backing, becoming northeast, picking up in speeds 12 to 18 knots. The wave heights building 3 to 6 feet. So caution flags in place for your boaters in the southeast Bahamas through Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, in the northwestern islands, the winds also become northeast, increasing to 12 to 18 knots. Wave heights 3 to 6 feet, so we'll post that caution flag for the northwest Bahamas on Wednesday. Low tide on Wednesday, 11:17 in the morning, with a high tide at 5:04 in the afternoon. And for the central and southeastern islands on Wednesday, northeast winds further increased in those speeds, 15 to 20 knots. Wave heights choppy at 4 to 7 feet, with caution flags in place as well. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Chilling, you know, well, then, nah, type in, I'm getting it. These lessons. We gonna do this like this, okay? Sit down, open the chapter 12. We gonna do it like this, you hear me? Hey! Yeah! Oh, Lord, I'll be back! Wow, what is this you dealing with, boy? Hey! Enough, boy, what's happening? Listen, let me tell you what happened. Look at it, go like this. Children, you ready? Jack and Jill, they're up the hill.
And that's going to do it for your International Championships, brought to you by Royal Star Shorts. But join me at 11 o'clock for a full weather update. Marcellus and Chibadita.
All right, thanks so much, Basil. Well, Bahamians always crying for good holiday weather. Looks like we're certainly getting it. Nice and chilly out there, Jimmy.
Yes, Marcellus, I'm loving it.
Good stuff indeed. Well, let's turn things over to Matea Cunningham and let's talk socials.
Social media fam, what's up, what's up, what's up? Matea here, your favorite social media educator. And this is the one and only Let's Talk Socials, your go-to spot for the latest and greatest in the world of social media. Today, I have a question for you. My audience, which social media platform is the most popular? Take a few seconds to decide. First up, we have the reigning champion of short videos and viral trends, TikTok. With over 1 billion active users worldwide, TikTok is dominating the Gen Z crowd and beyond. From dance challenges to life hacks, it's got something for everyone. Plus, its algorithm, scarily good at keeping us scrolling for hours. But don't count out Instagram just yet. Known for its sleek photos, stories, and now Reels, Instagram still holds its ground with a broad user base, especially for millennials. It's also the top choice for influencers and brands to flex their creativity. Now, Facebook might feel like it's for an older crowd, but with nearly 3 billion active users, it's still a global giant. Its groups and marketplace features keep it relevant, even if it's not as trendy. So, which app takes the crown? Honestly, it depends on who you ask and what you're looking for. TikTok might be the most buzzworthy, but Instagram and Facebook still dominate in sheer versatility and size. I'm Matea, and this has been Let's Talk Socials.
All right, well, good job, Matea. It's time now, Jimmy. Time for us to make a run for it.
Well, that's a wrap for us tonight. Stay tuned for the rundown with Clint Watson.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.
The Southeast Bahamas and an air gale watch is in effect for the Central Bahamas. In the general situation, an area of low pressure will develop from a stationary front in the vicinity of the southern Bahamas throughout the Expect partly sunny conditions by Tuesday afternoon. A 30 to 60% chance of showers with possible thunderstorms overnight into early Tuesday morning, reducing 20 to 30% by late morning. Winds northeast to east at 15 to 25 knots, but gusty at times. Low temperature in that area, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Tomorrow's high, 79. And for the southeast Bahamas, that's Inagua, Acklands, Crooked Island, Mayagüana, Ragged Island, and adjacent waters, cloudy to overcast with a 50 to 80% chance of showers with thunderstorms. For Mayagüana and Inagua, the winds will be east to southeast at 15 knots, but gusty at times overnight into tomorrow morning, veering south to southwest by the afternoon. For Ragged Island, Acklands, and Crooked Island, winds will be northeasterly at 20 to 25 knots with gusts to near gale and occasional gale force winds overnight into Tuesday morning, decreasing 15 to 25 knots by Tuesday afternoon. Low temperature there tonight, 72 degrees. Tomorrow's high, 77. In your tropical weather outlook, they say the tropics remain quiet with tropical cyclone.
At Harold One, I'm Ted Jervis, and this is ZNS.
The Rundown is brought to you by Commonwealth Brewery Limited. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's great to have you with us for another week. Well, startling news revealed today by the Royal Bahamas Police Force Commissioner Clayton Fernandez about the death of 12-year-old Adrielle Moxie of Bonefish Pond, Faith Avenue South. He confirmed at a press conference at police headquarters this morning that she died from strangulation and was sexually assaulted. Commissioner Fernandez revealed the suspect will be transferred to the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center for further medical treatment. And get this, the suspect was literally in a fight with officers upon being taken into custody. And there were visible injuries all over his body. Investigators CSI personnel have collected physical evidence that will be submitted to an international laboratory for further examination. Meantime, DNA is also being collected from the 72-year-old Vernicia Butler, who was killed early Saturday morning on East Street and Ross Corner, as well as her suspected killer, a 25-year-old man of Boat Alley. Now, the police commissioner also disclosed today that the alleged suspect entered the residence through a northern front room window to gain access. Now, after the initial probe, officers retrieved video from a nearby restaurant and bar showing the suspect bareback with only pants on, no shoes, with other people in the area. And it appears as though he was using some form of drugs. All of this happened just prior to the deceased arriving home. Now, authorities say the victim's son and grandson opened the front door to find Butler on the floor naked and unresponsive, and the assailant naked, sitting on the edge of the bed. When police arrived, they were obviously beating the suspect. The common denominator in both incidents is that these suspects suffer mental health illnesses. Commissioner Fernandez lamented that police officials will continue to address how to deal with persons with mental issues. The police commissioner appealed to families to pay attention to their loved ones as they may turn on them. That's important to understand. Encourage families to ensure their relatives take their medication and get their checkup. Don't just leave them and then they get themselves in trouble. Now, you may not even realize it, but thousands of Bahamians in this country suffer from mental health issues. Every day, stress, being overwhelmed, lack of exercise, all contribute to the health issue that seems to be taking over society. Now, while we appeal to all Bahamians to monitor their mental health, it's an issue the Royal Bahamas Police Force is also closely examining, as today's criminals appear to be suffering from the very same fate. Just last week, Dr. Sean Knowles of the Bahamas Department of Corrections was on this show and emphasized some of the symptoms inmates there suffer and are experiencing due to mental health. I cannot say this enough tonight to all of you. We take it as a joke or we seemingly play around with it, but mental health issue is a very serious issue affecting our society. And a lot of times people don't want to be associated or be called crazy or to be called you lost your mind. But the reality is people are. We don't even have the proper statistics in this country as to how many Bahamians are impacted by mental health. But the reality is the consequences of the many people who suffer from mental illness are telling. These heinous crimes, obviously we talked about them. Can't be somebody committing them who's in their right mind. And then we find out, well, the people committing them weren't in their right mind. Mental health issues. This takes a conversation to a whole different level in this country. Because there's one thing when you punish and you arrest someone who is just a bad person involved in criminal activity. And then we say, yes, let's hang them because they commit a horrible act. Their life ought to be required. That's one thing. And that's what a lot of the discussion has been about. But now we're talking about people committing crimes who aren't in their right minds. And then the question is, well, what is the recourse for that? How do we address that in our country? How do we address it in our society? The reality is, one, we who are family, know people with challenges, ought to do something about it. If you know your relative has a mental issue and they're not getting any kind of formal help about it, you ought to require that. Because if they go unchecked, they become a rebel to society. And then we have to understand that there is a growing concern about why people are simply going ballistic all of a sudden in their minds. What's leading to it? We have to address it. Do we have enough mental health professionals in this country to address the issues of mental health in the country? No, we don't. It is a major concern. It is a major problem. And it is definitely something that our Department of Health, our Ministry of Health ought to look into, engaging more professionals in mental health, because Bahamians need to be able to get the help they need to cause them to make sensible decisions in our country. This changes the conversation. As a matter of fact, it becomes a whole different conversation. Because yes, while crime is too much in our country and is high, and I agree something must be done, we're now dealing with a society where a lot of the root foundations of the problems are not being addressed. The places where people can go to get holistic healing or get some spiritual intervention, no one's going anymore. Sundays, we're doing everything in the food store. We're doing everything in shopping. But what used to be a sacred day is no longer a sacred day. And we wonder what's happening in our country. Well, the deterioration of society is because there is a void of a spiritual power that connects us to normality. That is the root of the problem we are dealing with. And no amount of punishment, no amount of pain is going to give us a better society if we don't give it to the people and demand of our people that they go to institutions that can deal with their morality, that they can be around people to help them make stronger decisions. That is the only way society will change. Otherwise, society will become a victim of the very same people it birthed. That is the reality of the issue. We're taking a break. When we come back, young Adrielle, she was an active member of her church, Future Bright Hopes. You should hear her story. Well, we'll hear it. Her pastors are here to talk to us in the next break. And then a little later in the show, we're going to take on a lot of these national issues with a spokesperson from government on the government's position on these. A very important and practical show today. You're watching Beyond the Headlines. We're back after this. Stay close.
That's the bearer of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a different kind of Christmas, but everything is here to bring a smile upon your face. That's what the season brings. Yeah. See, Christmas time is the time for your family and friends. Come and shop with us and find everything that you need. Deck out your homes with all we have in store, bringing joy and so much more. And shop Smarty, and shop Smart, and shop Smart. Oh, everything is here at Shop Smart. And shop Smart, and shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
Chapter One Bookstore at University of the Bahamas believes in the power of words. They have your next great adventure or that affordable textbook you need. You can go anywhere with a good book. To the library, to have coffee in a cafe, to the pool, to a cozy chair at home. And when you finish your book, you can browse for more good books from Chapter One. Chapter One Bookstore, open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., or shop online all day, every day at chapteronebooks.store.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And welcome back to the Rundown. A special good night to all of you who are joining us on social media platforms, YouTube, in the Lion's Den on Facebook. It's good to have you with us in this conversation tonight. Little girl, yearning to be closer to God. That's how the pastors of Restoration Kingdom Ministries described young Adrielle Moxie. The 12-year-old girl was active in this ministry. She was a member of the dance team and was a frequent worshiper who loved the Lord. Joining us tonight are her pastors, Cleveland and Samantha Wells, Francis Wells of Restoration Kingdom Ministries. Good evening to both of you. Let me offer my condolences again to both of you during this very difficult time. Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
Talk to us about Adrielle. Tell us who she was.
I would say that she was full of life and wanted so much out of life. To meet her was to meet someone who you would never forget.
Wow.
Because she made a lasting impression on you that very first moment when you met her.
Wow.
Full of life.
Wow.
Full of life.
Full of life.
When you think about her, what are some of the fond memories that come to you about Adrielle?
There's so many. In addition to Adrielle being involved in the church, we have a Friday program called College Club Bahamas, and she is also an active member of that, where students from both private and public school come together, and we do the college and career readiness and holistic living at the church. And she was a part of that. So there was this activity we were doing on anger management, right? And so we were outside and throwing it's called an emotional ball. And the ball reached to Adrielle, and her finger hit on what do you do when you get angry, right? So she talked about how, you know, if someone comes up in my face, this is what I'm gonna do, you know, and she only put so high, right? So the other students around was like, no, you're now a member of College Club, you can't, that's not how you're gonna do it. And so we were teaching like life skills and stuff. And it was amazing of how, as small as she was so tall.
Wow.
In her personality.
Wow.
Very big in her personality. She took good counsel, took correction very easily, you know. She wanted to belong. She wanted to be somewhere that was safe and loved.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And we're humbled that God gave us the opportunity to create that atmosphere for her.
Help us to understand, because people have questioned that she, in order to get home every evening, she has this long, dark road to get down, to get to her home. Was there concern that when she would be to church activities, how she would get home in the night? Did she walk home?
You know, I hear what a lot of persons are saying, but you know, those who are in the trenches, they know, we know exactly what's happening. We had a system in place. Adriel's stepfather and mother, when she came to College Club Bahamas, they wanted to know where she was.
They came and met us.
So the gentleman came, we exchanged numbers, and we put a system in place. The system that we put in place was to ensure that she got home safe, meaning that we knew this isn't anything new. She was in grade 8, so she did this for grade 7, and she did this for a portion of her grade 8 journey. So what we did was we said, okay, this is a dark road. This young girl has to go through this area to get home. So we decided that we would put a system in place. The system was, when we get to the gate, we will call ahead. When we call ahead, they will leave their house and they will come and meet.
So that was a system put in place?
That was a system. That system worked.
Right.
And we did that
at church, yeah.
For all of our activities.
Any activities at church?
Once she was with us, we made sure she got home. If it wasn't us calling, it was the bus driver calling.
Amazing. That's awesome.
If it wasn't the bus driver calling, someone called home to let the parents know we're at the gate. So can you please send someone to get her? That was a system that was in place, okay? And we knew the area was dark. I go into that area to drop groceries off to persons all the time. Adriel was one of the girls that lived in that area. There were so many other little ones that lived in that area, boys and girls, that we went to drop groceries off, and we drove through. It was rough, but of course, they couldn't lift the boxes of groceries, so we had to make sure it got to them, and we did that.
Yeah.
So we had a system in place to make sure she was safe.
Yeah, and safe.
I'm sure you no doubt play this over in your mind. Why did this happen? How could this have been prevented? And all sorts of kind of thing. What do you blame tonight? Do you blame a breakdown in morality in society that would cause a person to do something like that? Do you blame it being the infrastructure not in place? Do you blame, I mean, because everybody's looking as to where does it fall? Which feet does it fall at? As pastors who knew this young lady, what do you say failed her?
Mr. Watson, I want to say that, you know, my children, they never walked to school, but I did that all my life. Okay?
Right, you walked.
I walked to school. They never had that. They never did that.
Right, times are different then.
Okay? Different, okay? Now, we can point fingers all over the place.
Yeah.
Because we're good at pointing fingers.
Can you say that again, please?
Okay.
I said it to somebody the other day. I said, Bahamians, we are perfect at pointing fingers at everywhere else other than right back at us.
We're excellent at pointing fingers all over the place, okay? But let us be real. Many persons in this country, their children walk to and from school every day.
You see them?
Okay? It didn't have anything to do with her walking. She did that for a year and a half.
That we know.
That we know about. I mean, as far when we say that, we look at her being in grade 8,
and then grade
but she is a student at Anatole. So if she was a student there, she did that for her grade 7 year.
Right.
And then she must have done it for half of her grade 8 year.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say to you? We must learn to stop pointing fingers all over the place and realize that the perpetrator,
correct,
is the one that is to blame for this act, because we should be able to move freely throughout our country. We should be able to.
Yes.
She did it many times. Many of our children, they do it every day. But a perpetrator robbed her of that opportunity.
Correct.
So you're trying to tell me I'm sleeping in my house, my comfort zone, and someone decides to come into my comfort zone and interfere with me?
Right.
It's not that I'm sleeping.
Right.
It's not that I'm home. It's that someone decided to invade my privacy, and as a result of that, I am harmed, God forbid.
Yeah.
Mr. Watson, we have to stop pointing fingers. A lot of people talking. I know they're talking. A lot of people talking. I want to ask some of them, where do they give community service? What young boy you've guided? What young girl you've assisted? What youth group you go to serve and give back to this country?
That's it.
We do this every week.
Every week.
I'm 52, and some of them just heard my name and saw my face 4 days ago. But I've been doing this all my life. We've been doing this all our life, giving back.
Are you saying that this is how we fix our society?
Yes, sir. Let's go to work, Bahamas.
Yeah, you got it. You can't say.
Don't stand on the sideline.
Right. You can't say you care. You can't say, okay, society is broken, but you're not prepared to be a part of the solution. You have to be. We're counselors by profession. We're educators. All right? You can't just see the problem and talk all day. All right? At some point, you can't wait for it to get at your doorstep to say, okay, now I'm going to get out. It's always at your doorstep, because once you're a part of a society, the problem, exactly, we're all impacted, you know? And there's other children out there. My desire is that Adriel's life lives forever, that she's never forgotten, that no, we can't give her life back, but you know what the joy is? The joy is that she came our way. And the Bible says, be careful, because you may just be entertaining angels unaware. And I can tell you, she was a light.
Beautiful light.
She was a light. No, she didn't come from this family name and that background, but inside of her, you would have never known that Adriel was poor, that didn't have much, because she carried herself as if she was on top of the world. When she opened her mouth, she was confident.
Yes.
She was a runner. And I mean a real runner. She used to run the bridge, okay? She was a part of a track club at school, and she would run the bridge. She was disciplined. She was a part of different clubs at her school. She was involved at church. When she came, she wanted to do everything. She said, Adriel, you can't do everything. It was like she was bigger than life. She wanted to do everything.
Almost like she knew she had a certain amount of time.
Oh, my Lord.
And that is what hurts. The young people at church and at college club.
Broken.
Like tonight before we came here, we just finished counseling. You know, because it's like, how could this happen to her? Why did it happen to her?
Yes.
You know? Yeah. And so as a nation, it should matter to us. We should all be angry.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bible says, get angry and sin not. You know, so we're not going to sin tonight, no. But we should all be angry.
It should be a call to action.
Yes.
Because we talk very well on Facebook. We all give comments on Facebook about our anger and frustration. And then after a week, we on to the next story. And there's no call to action.
That's it.
And the society doesn't change.
No.
So if you're tired of what you see happening, if you're frustrated, do something.
Do something.
Do something. Get involved. Get the people in your neighborhood involved in something positive so that we're helping society.
Yes.
Pastor Wells, I want to thank both of you for coming, and for the work that you've done for Adriel, and for her life, and for being her pastor, and for, I call it, helping her cross over to the other side. Thank you so much. If society never honors you, we honor you for the work that you've been doing, even in oblivion. Someone even knew you were there doing it, but the people who've been impacted by you know your presence. We say thank you, and if it means this had to call you out so people can see the work that you're doing, we salute you. We need more people like you who are in the trenches making a difference every single day. And you have indeed impacted her life, that she was not a product of her environment, but she was, like you said, an angel. And if that allowed her to be able to cross over to the hope of glory, you have done a job well done. Thank you both for being on the show today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stay with us. Still to come in the rundown tonight. We're going to talk more about this crime. What is government's response to it? What is government's response to the cost of living? Government's response to raising taxes proposals? All of those things. The government spokesperson, Trey Ramming, he's here to take those tough questions. And we've had them for him tonight. You're watching Beyond. We're watching the rundown. I said it before. I'm still talking Beyond the Headlines. You're watching the rundown. We're back after this. Take a look.
It's a different kind of Christmas, but everything is here to bring a smile upon your face. That's what the season brings now. See, Christmas time is the time for your family and friends. Come and shop with us and find everything that you need. Deck out your homes with all we have in store, bringing joy and so much more. And shop Smarty, and shop Smart. Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here at Shop Smart. At Shop Smart. At Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Welcome back. Crime is for decades now is always seen as a thorn in the flesh of any administration. We've been struggling with it for decades. It's a challenging and difficult thing to get a hold of, particularly when you have heinous crimes like the ones committed last week that make headlines. It's a big issue we turn to, as well as other big topics impacting this present administration. Joining me now is the Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Trey Ramming. Trey, it's good to have you. Good to have you on the show. Good to be here. Let's jump right in and talk about this, because obviously people are asking, what is the government doing? People want action.
Yeah.
And people believe action is, let's enforce capital punishment. Now, a lot of people, we keep saying capital punishment is on our books. People say, well, do something about it. What is the government's position? I know the government is going to say you can't be emotional about it, but that's a part of what people are living and facing every day.
All right, let me just dive right in. Clinton, as you're aware, beginning of the country was facing a string of murders. The Prime Minister at the time launched a 5-point plan to deal with the issue of crime. It focused on prevention, policing, prosecution, punishment, and rehabilitation. We went to Parliament, the government went to Parliament to amend the Bail Act to ensure that persons who are breaking their bail would be revoked. We introduced some of the toughest anti-gang legislation to ensure that persons who are participating in gang activity would find their day before courts. We invested millions in new technology and AI facial recognition. We then realized that the issue of crime in itself was multifaceted. So the Prime Minister on a weekly basis chair a cross-government task force to deal with this issue specifically. I raise these points to say that with all those measures that the government has put in place, we realize that in some instances that this issue continues to be something that plagues our society. And you mentioned something that at the top of your show, the issue of mental health. And it's not something that has escaped this government. We've implemented a new mental health act. We've trained more than 30 health professionals in mental health recently that's graduated last month to respond to this growing issue of mental health. And what I think is the common denominator in all of this is that crime isn't there's not one single factor driving crime. I know that persons have expressed their views on the Prime Minister's recent comments. The position of the government is this, that the Prime Minister is committed to the rule of law. The rule of the Bahamas speaks very plainly that capital punishment is a form of punishment. What we're trying to get people to appreciate is that they live in a democratic system that calls for the separation of power. And I'm certain that as much as the Prime Minister personally cannot cause for someone to be hung, our system simply just doesn't work that way. We have an independent director of public prosecution. He or she will pursue a form of charges and a form of punishment. That matter is deliberated by a judge. And I'm certain that the Bahamian people don't want a system of judiciary where the Prime Minister personally gets to determine a person's punishment. I know that there's a lot of politics around this issue. I know that this is something that the FNM or Lincoln, the likes of Lincoln Beans like to exploit. But let's be fair, let's be truthful. This country has seen 4 changes of administrations, and under none of those administrations there have been capital punishment carrying out. It shows that the issue is much more fundamental. It shows, whilst it is a part of the rule of law, it requires a thorough investigations, and the police have to do their part in ensuring that the case could meet the standard of scrutiny.
But while people, like you said, the likes of the opposition leader or coalition of independence leader and other activists have called for something to be done, are they wrong for not wanting to demand more from our country and government as far as it comes to protecting citizens? Are they wrong for calling for more to happen?
I don't think they're wrong. I think that advocacy is a part of our democracy, but I think that you also have to be genuine to the conversation. I think you got to be truthful. I think that it's not the Bahamian people deserve a kind of politics that's going to be very frank and candid about the challenges this country face. I think that the kind of politics that exploit emotions during a very difficult time is not something that's bodes really well. All I'm simply saying is, listen, we have to take a step back approach as to the gaps in the system. We know that capital punishment is something that's on our books. We know that there's a legal threshold required to make sure that's happening. We know that, I mean, to keep in mind, the Caribbean Court of Justice was an alternative to the Privy Council.
Correct.
Caribbean countries thought that if they created a judiciary, a form of appeal that will be much more fluent to the issues of the Caribbean.
And the culture.
And the culture. The CCJ sort of mirrors the issue on capital punishment, believing the same thing as the Privy Council. So even now, I've been told by the foreign minister that there has been a Caribbean country, even in this deal, that has reached the threshold. So this is a matter of the judiciary. This is a matter of you still got to be the burden of proof. This is a matter of the judge using his discretion on issuing the punishment.
I want to move on to obviously the IMF report, which came out, which also made headlines. And the International Monetary Fund suggested the government hike the rate of value-added tax to 15% in order to meet its debt target of 50%, right, of the gross domestic product by the year 2031. But the government says no, holding firm to its commitment to bring relief to Bahamians. The IMF described the government's proposed pension reforms for civil servants, introducing contributions for new hires and raising the mandatory retirement age as constructive, but recommended aligning the minimum retirement age between the National Insurance Board and civil service systems and indexing retirement ages to life expectancy for both. The IMF warned that improving tax collection and benefiting from lower interest payments alone would not be enough for the government to meet its debt target. So let's talk a little bit more about the government's position. The bottom line is IMF is saying that there got to be some more tangible things that you do that may not be in the best interest of Bahamian people, but if you want to reach that level of debt restructure, that's the best thing to do. What is the government obviously saying no? Why?
I mean, the truth of the matter is when the Davis administration came to power, you would anticipate or expect that the IMF would have made several recommendations, one including increasing VAT to 15%. The government of the Bahamas did not adhere to any of those recommendations. The government at the time believed that they were going to pursue a revenue enhancement measure that focused on removing VAT from 12% to 10%. We saw a significant growth in revenue. The government thought that there was enough revenue loopholes out there that if they captured properly would have led to a significant revenue collection. We've seen that in real property tax. We thought that, the government thought that, not we, the government thought that proper compliance amongst taxpayers would, focusing on large businesses and foreign nationals would be the mechanism of doing it. But we also thought that there was a need to focus on growing the economy. The reason why I'm making this point is because the IMF make these recommendations most of the time. The path for growing the economy for us, this administration, is to pursue a path that does not add additional burden to the Bahamian people. We are confident that we've been able to raise the minimum wage, deal with the issue of labor agreements, and keep in mind, one of the things that our persons are not saying in the conversation with the IMF is the first line of the IMF report. It indicates that what the Davis administration has done in turning this economy around is remarkable. Now, we concede that whilst the macroeconomics of the country is doing well, Bahamians don't feel it. And we know that, and we're not going to...
Okay, that's the question. People are saying, well, you might say you're doing well, but it ain't trickling down.
No,
I don't feel it.
No.
You're saying that you're trying to not raise expenses, but yet you've raised national insurance, BPL has gone up, so in the eyes of people, you've made it more difficult, not more manageable, and that's where people have the concern.
So let's talk about acknowledging those two particular points. The issue of NIB. You could reduce the size of the staff. You could you could sell all of NIB assets. You could deal with further compliance of NIB. You could improve the collection of NIB, and all four of those things won't be enough to deal with one factual issue. The Bahamas have a declining population and an aging population, and the amount of persons who are the amount of persons who are having children has reduced significantly. Mm-hmm. So successive administrations, both the FNM and the PLP, have kicked the decision down the road to bite the bullet to make a decision to save NIB's fund. The government has said to NIB that whilst we have given you permission for this increase, that you have to pursue a strategy that speak to proper investment in the fund. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the government didn't make decisions that weren't in the best interest of Bahamians. The Prime Minister is focused on how he could balance the economic recovery without avoiding added pressure. Keep in mind that the 2021 election was of the decision of the then Prime Minister, Hubert Minnis, saying that the country was facing headwinds and he had a number of difficult choices to make. One of those difficult choices to make was increasing VAT to 15%. A part of the conversation that the opposition will talk about. And I can say that the Prime Minister has received a number of recommendations on which he's deliberating on. That's going to lead to further benefit and measurement, further relief to the Bahamian people.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some responses the Prime Minister has given, as well as what the opposition has said, and we'll get the take on that. Okay. You're watching The Rundown. We're back after this. Take close.
Our company offers a simple philosophy, open hands. What do open hands mean? If you keep your hands closed, nothing comes in, nothing goes out. If you keep your hands open, a lot of things comes in, a lot of things goes out. We cannot expect to be a successful company without blessing our community and blessing our country.
My good friend and valued client, Dominic Stirrup, approached me following a meeting we had and told me of the idea that he had of feeding 10,000 Bahamians on Thanksgiving.
There was a lot of details to put together, had to figure out how to get it done. But at the end, it was worth it. At the end, it gave me a heart of gratitude to know that our company is reaching out to so many persons.
We invite you on a journey to witness an extraordinary chapter in the story of the Bahamas Striping Group of Companies, a tale of compassion, unity, and the true spirit of Thanksgiving.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah.
Hardware is the helpful place. Everything you need under one roof, from electrical, paint, plumbing, outdoor, barbecue, automotive, lawn and garden, pet supplies, houseware, and seasons. Hurricane season is now here, so for all your hurricane needs, we have a 25% off bargain zone.
Hey, thanks. I would have given more stuff, but I didn't bring my money. I thought this was a club, and I thought everything was free. Finally know what it is now. Ace.
We're located on St. Albans Drive, West Bay Street, open Monday to Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and closed for lunch 2 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Welcome back to The Rundown. My guest tonight is Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latrell Rahman. He's taking all the hot seat questions tonight that people will have for this administration in light of so many issues that have come up. I want to go back to cost of living because that is impacting people right now. People are saying, well, it is hard to live. I expect a government that I vote into office to be able to make it better for me to live. What do you say as a response when people say, I don't feel it? It's hard. Groceries are more expensive. My utility bills are more expensive. My taxes are more expensive. I may have gotten a little increase in salary, but it can't cover all the other increases. The cost of living is what people are going to grade this administration on. What do you say?
And absolutely. I think one of the things that we realize, Clint, the administration realized, Clint, is that the government have made a number of measures. We've increased the minimum wage. We've reduced the duties on a number of items. One of we realize is that the Bahamas and this economy has some structural challenges. And so the government is trying to understand, why a lot of these cost-saving measures aren't getting to the Bahamian people. There's a huge issue of competition in this country and a lack of monopoly. Mm-hmm. And because of the lack of competition and the lack of monopoly, a lot of those prices are set at a particular way. Mm-hmm. Now, there is the issue of inflation, there is the issue of what's happening around the world impacting the Bahamas. But a huge part of what we're facing is that the structural challenge of the economy is that a minority group of individuals control a huge bunch.
And let me say better, Ken, you got to be diligent. You got to be gingerly with it. There are too many of these large companies who are not passing on the savings that they are getting from government to the consumers. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
That's
so
reality.
They control the trade, they control the shipping, they control the retail, they control the wholesale, they control the groceries. So they control the entire price line. But I know it's I don't want to get ahead of the Prime Minister, but it's an issue that the government recognizes, and it's an issue that the Prime Minister is contending to deal with. The other issue that we realize is that the issue of affordable housing. An issue of rent in this country.
Talk about that.
And the government is focused on a number of landlords who, for some whatever reason, have their rent at an unjustifiable amount.
Rent is too high.
Yeah.
The bottom line, rent is too high. And then people posting signs saying no children allowed. But who are you getting rent from you?
And so then the ultimate issue is that the government's going to continue to invest in the access to housing. Going to continue to invest in. But no one in this administration is it has not escaped us the difficulty that Bahamian families face, and that's why the government is going to announce new additional measures to provide additional support.
The opposition leader, Michael Pintard, government last week, by the way, announced its debt swap, where it can address some of the debt factors and how to take care of it. It was something the Prime Minister touted as one of the reasons why he's been traveling to try and get some of these things in place, measures so the Bahamas can benefit. The opposition leader called for greater transparency. He wants to understand a little more about this debt swapping, and actually he thinks it's a PR stunt. What do you say in response to that?
I would have been more surprised if you told me that the leader of the opposition congratulated the government on something that has not been achieved in this region. I would have been much more surprised with that. I think the leader of the opposition has found himself in a pattern of not appreciating good news for the Bahamas. Somehow he believed that good news for the Bahamas is bad news for the F&M. I think that you could win an election on merit, but let me step back in saying that what the Prime Minister has achieved through the debt swap arrangement with the IDB and Nature Conservative, meaning that the Bahamas is going to be able to save over a period of time more than $126 million, and they're going to use $126 million that they're going to save to invest in the protection of our marine life and the protection of the environment that drives our family islands. And maybe I think the challenge for it is not lack of transparency, it's maybe it's very difficult for the leader of the opposition to understand.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the things Prime Minister has said that has caused some eyebrows to be raised. He is a consummate speaker, so whenever he says something that people find quite stern or offensive, it begs to talk about it. Two things he talked about was crime and capital punishment and his views about that. And then the other one was on cost of living, saying people maybe need to, go into a different area to live rather than another area and eat a certain food rather than eating another food. People found that quite offensive. What do you say about those?
I mean, I think the public could rest assured that when they measure the Prime Minister and look at where he's at, look at the results of his administration, the focus of his administration. Everyone knows Brave Davis, and I will refer to him as that because he's always been a man on the side of the people. That will never escape him. No matter the heights of his office, he will always be a barefoot boy from Kidd Island. He understands the challenges that Bahamian families face, and his government will continue to ensure that he makes it easier to help them make those choices. Everyone knows how the Prime Minister feels on the issue of capital punishment, but his personal opinion doesn't get in the way of his belief of the rule of law. And I think that anyone who knows full of Edward Davis know that he's always going to be the kind of person who's going to be there with families as they get through this cost of living crisis.
Talk about his, well, you cover the response to the capital punishment and cost of living. You tie it all into one there. Yeah. So I don't want to cause you to go back over that. Prime Minister's travel, right? There's been that cloud over him since he's been in office, that his travel is expensive, he's traveling too much instead of attending to the affairs here. What do you say to that? How do you respond to that?
So I'll say this, you know, tonight the incoming president of the United States, Donald Trump, announced that the United States is going to impose tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China. The global environment in which we live is extremely fragile. The Bahamas is a country that is impacted by inflation and wars and a growing climate crisis. We don't have the luxury of, the government and by extension the Prime Minister don't have the luxury of sitting around waiting for someone to help the Bahamas. We have, the country have a banking industry that's been under assault for years that employ a huge significant amount of our country. We had two islands that was decimated by hurricanes. His climate change advocacy is important in the sense that advocating for fairer financing. That's why he was able to get the $126 million he got last night. The reason why the African Exim Bank came to the Bahamas for this region is because of his relationships. And so the government of the Bahamas is focused on a foreign policy that is ensuring that as a small country, we're able to stand up for ourselves. He's going to continue to advocate for the Bahamas, bring investments back home, and as I alluded to earlier, that we are living in different times. And if you are not going to be the Prime Minister who's going to be in the room with world leaders and standing up and getting what's for your country, then you're going to be left behind and left out.
So you believe the travel is justified?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to go to our final break. When we come back, the question is, how does the political party, the PLP, feel 1 year before political season begins? We know political season starts a year before election time. How does the PLP see itself? We're going to put that question to you when the rundown comes right back. Stay close.
That's the bear of the Bahamas. I like to go down. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's a different kind of Christmas, but everything is here to bring a smile upon your face. That's what the season brings now. See, Christmas time is the time for your family and friends. Come and shop with us and find everything that you need. Deck out your homes with all we have in store, bringing joy and so much more. And shop Smarty, and shop Smart, and shop Smart. Oh, everything is here at Shop Smart. And shop Smart, and shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
One of the things which I notice among women who have progressed, some of them, too many of them, are not sensitive to the feelings and to the needs of their less fortunate sisters. And so you have women who reach the pinnacle of their profession or in society saying that there's no need for any particular women's organization or women's movement. We're all one. Yes, we're all one, but we're not all accepted as equal. And until we as women band together and realize that more things connect us and make us one, of those things which separate us, and we as a combined force insist on our place alongside our men, we will not achieve it. I think the purpose of the binding together would be for those of us who have experienced more, who know a bit more, to share, to help to educate our sisters.
Welcome back to our final 5 minutes of the rundown tonight. My guest, Latre Rami, the Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister. So, of course, we have this one question for Latre. Of course, political season begins in about a year, normally a year out when political season. How does the PLP look? How does the,
well, you know,
what does it look like?
And I know it hasn't escaped you that I'm the Director of Communications for the Office of the Prime Minister, and I cannot speak on behalf of the PLP. But I will say that the focus of the administration over the last, as we head into the election season, is going to be on those two issues, cost of living and crime. We're going to continue to bring relief for the families and ensure that we create a Bahamas that people have a sense of safety and security. And that's going to be the focus. I think the Prime Minister is going to narrow his priorities, going to focus on delivering on behalf of the Bahamian people. We have a blueprint of change document that governs the administration, and he's going to focus intently on delivering on that document.
Do you believe, when it's all said and done, the Bahamian people will want to see another 5 years of the Davis administration?
I'm confident. I'm confident that when it's all said and done, and they're going to be asked what kind of version of country they wish to move forward with. And I think that the true measurement of any administration is its ability to deliver on its promises. These are some extraordinary times. These are some difficult economic realities. But leadership demands from elected officials to do and to always act in the best interest on behalf of the Bahamian people. And I have every confidence to believe that Prime Minister Davis is going to wake up every day to focus on the issues that Bahamians discuss around their kitchen tables and what families ask themselves every night. Will they be able to afford a growing cost of energy? And the government have a very comprehensive energy reform policy that's happening right now to reduce the cost of energy. Will they be able to have safer communities? And the government will continue to invest in the Royal Bahamas Police Force and giving the Office of the Attorney General what they need to ensure that we're able to get these matters throughout the courts, and we'll give the CJ what he needs to make sure that the application of justice could happen much more speedily. And on the issue of cost of living, the government will continue to ensure that workers get the kind of benefits that they deserve, that persons who are working in the hotel industry have a pathway to social mobility, that Bahamians aren't taken for granted on the workforce. So these issues will never escape the Prime Minister. And I am happy to be a part of his administration over the last 3 and going into 3 and 4 years. So I'm confident that if the election is about who's best fit to take this country forward, that he's a better candidate.
And I asked that was really can be tied to the next question I'm going to ask, and that simply is, for several decades, we have seen the Bahamian people every 5 years switch administrations. Why do you believe the government will get an extra 5 years when the Bahamian people are already used to making that change every year? What's going to be the determining factor?
I think administrations make the fundamental mistake of focusing on the things that really don't move the needle. And the recipe for political success will result on focusing on the things that matter to the Bahamian people. And the thing that matters to the Bahamian people right now is cost of living and crime. And that's going to be the focus of this administration. I think I was there with Christie when he thought that Bahamas would be sufficient. And sometimes, you gotta meet voters where they are. And that's what this Prime Minister intends to do.
All right, Latre Rami, it's always a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for talking with us. I know you're breathing a sigh of relief. You made it to the end. Thank you so much. That does it for the rundown for all of us here at ZNS News. I'm Clint Watson. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to stay tuned to the Bahamas tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. He's going to have the latest in news and information with you. Of course, it is your last newscast of the night anywhere in the country. Have a great night, everyone. Good night.
Montague, I'm Opal Roach. This is ZNS.